welcome back. This is part 2 of how to paint the trailer tires. Like I said, this is just going to be oil base. It'll last a long time. The secret is you got to do the right prep work. So in part 1, we went ahead and I used the wire wheel and went over all that. There really was no rust. It was just loose, flaky paint, and it was dirty. So after I hit it with the wire wheel, I went ahead and we took just denatured alcohol and scrub brush. So I like denatured alcohol. You could use other solvents. Some guys might use acetone. Some guys might use regular paint thinner. Mineral spirits is the same as paint thinner, so you could use that. I prefer the denatured alcohol. Dries real fast, doesn't smell bad. Sometimes paint thinner sometimes leaves a residue. So the denatured alcohol, I mean, as soon as you put it on there, in a matter of a minute or so, I mean, it's already evaporated. So what we did was, on this tire here, I put the tape. I'm using duct tape because I happen to have a lot of this and I'm short on my masking tape. So in a second, we're going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to mask it off. So I did the wheel, both sides, and I'm going to take some tape and we're going to tape off the stem. You know, and if you normally work with auto paint, I mean, auto paint is really strong and it's really hard, and that's awesome, but auto paint's expensive, and oil base, you can get this at your regular hardware store. These cans, I think, were like $5 or $6. So really, how many cans do you need to do 2 wheels? Probably 1 can of primer and 1 can of your finish. Now, we're going to have to use a brush to do the cut of the lip. So, even though this is Rust-Oleum, I got some of this off a job, and it's gloss just like the black. So, I'm going to use this to cut the lip in, and then we can shoot the rest of the rim. So really, you only have to do that one little cut. Makes it easy. So, this wheel's ready to go. And the next one, we went ahead and we did one side. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to we're going to tape off this side. And also too, when you're working with the spray dries pretty fast. So if you have a good wind flow, like after we're done, we're going to open the garage up. The sun's going to hit it, the wind's going to hit it, it'll be dry pretty fast, and you can go ahead and you can hit it with your second coat. Now, say you didn't have the spray, and you just had just the oil base in the can. That's fine, but once you put that first coat on, you're going to have to let this sit with a good wind flow overnight. And since it's going to be thicker because you're going to apply it with, say, a brush, depending on the humidity, you know, this may take a couple days to dry. And also too, I mean, this is summer now, but I've had it where I've painted desks at the public schools, metal desks. And they it was over winter break, so they turned the heat down. I came back a week later, and here the desk was still tacky. Because oil base, you need a little bit of heat, you need some wind flow. If it gets too cold, it doesn't like to dry. So, okay, so we're going to take the masking tape. And what we're doing is we're just getting it on that lip on the rim. You don't want to tape it on the rubber itself because it will not stick. So just that little metal edge is what we want. tape doesn't like to stretch because it's in a circle. So what you do is just take your scissors, cut some relief. Some relief cuts. Okay, so Ethan, my cameraman Ethan, I think he's going to have to come over and help me. Come over and hold. Come on. Just leave it there. Just come over and just hold the tire. Yeah. So, you got it? So, what we're going to do is, okay, move your hand. There you go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to stretch this plastic out. Look a little bit. There you go. Ethan, can you get some tape and tape here? Yep. Maybe one right here. And don't block the camera. There we go. So we're going to keep going in a circle. So you pull the plastic and just fold your tape in. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's only going to be on here for a couple minutes. See? Okay, we're going to cut it. Ethan, get a thing to tape these together. You got something? Right there. Okay, so hold that. Got it? So what we can do is we actually can stand these up. So we don't have to do one side and then flip them. We can kind of hold them and just shoot them like that. So how cool is that? Let's see. So this is Rust-Oleum primer, but it's, see how it looks rusty? It's red oxide. And red oxide is good. Now this is helping us out several ways. We basically deglossed it when we hit it with the wire wheel. But this is really going to grab it because the surface is clean, but it's also going to give it a good surface for the new paint to stick. So even though we basically deglossed it by hitting it with the wire wheel, this is, if you notice, primer is always dull. Well, that's because the new paint will grab it. So let's do it. Okay, so. Now, you can go with different colors. I'm just a big fan of the red oxide. I mean, you can go with gray. I think some places even have black primer. I mean, you usually don't find that too often. So. Okay, this one's done. remember with that denatured alcohol, that also got whatever grease that was on that rim, because we don't want any residue. We want it nice and clean. Okay, so I think we're going to end this segment right here because we have to let this dry. And then there's a couple spots I missed with the primer, so I'm going to touch those up. We're going to let this dry, and when that's dry, we can come back and hit them with the first coat of our spray black. Because it's probably going to take 2 coats on the finished coat. So, okay, remember to like and subscribe. And again, my name's Eric, and the cameraman is my son Ethan. So we'll see you for part 3.